Right, let's take a look at this. Getting started in the spring challenge. Oh my, there's even a video this time. I don't know if...
Hello everyone, I'm Julian Poulton from Coding Game, and I'm here to help you get started with the Spring Challenge 2020. So let's take a look at it. As you can see, it's a type of Pac-Man game. Each player controls one Pac-Man, and the aim of the game is to eat more pellets than your opponent. In this game, I'm the red Pac-Man, and my score is up here on the left, and the score of the blue Pac-Man is up there on the right. My algorithm today is just move to this coordinate, which is what my Pac-Man has done. This is actually just the beginning of the competition. Once I've created an AI, I can click on the submit button to send it to fight other players in the arena.
Yeah, well, we all knew
And
that,
if
didn't
it
we?
beats more people than the boss does, I'm promoted to the next league where
I'm not sure I'm the
more
target
rules
audience
are
for this, so
unlocked.
let's get started without looking at this. So, Spring Challenge 2020, which happened in spring finally. Multiple leagues, blah blah blah. Eat more pellets than your opponent. Sounds classic. The game is played on the grid given to you at the start of each run. The grid is made up of walls and floors. In this first league, each player controls a single pack that can move along the grid. The grid is generated randomly, can vary in width and height. Oh, good. A cell in the map is either a wall or a floor represented by a space. I do hope there's a wall everywhere. Maps are always symmetrical along the vertical central axis. Okay. Most grids will have floor tiles on the left and right edges. They can wrap around the map on left and right only. Okay. When the game begins, the map is filled with pellets and the occasional super pellet. Landing on a pellet earns a point, and it's 10 for a super pellet. Well, I do hope we can eat ghosts afterward, but okay, we'll see about that. Each player controls a pack, but it's going to be more in the end. On each turn you have a vision on all the pellets and packs in the grid. That'll change in the future league. At each turn you're given information regarding the visible packs and pellets. For each pack you're given its identifier, whether it's yours or not, and its coordinates. For each pellet you're given its coordinates and value. Packs can receive the following command: move. Oh, and they do the pathfinding. Well, okay, that's kind of classic Bomberman style. They give it, but we're probably not gonna use it. And will not take the presence of pellets, obviously. Yeah. Game protocol, we'll see this in the end. Crossing paths or landing on the same cell as another pack will cause a collision to occur. In that case, the movements of the colliding packs are cancelled. The game stops when there's a winner or 200. And the only way to be forced to lose is the classics. Okay. Wow, that's some input, a whole page of it. Let's see what it's... Woohoo! That's a lot. Of course, remove this. Or line buffer at least. Let's see. Do I even have an environment around here? So what happens if we play the default code, and I'll check what it does in a minute. Haha, Blinky, of course. So I'm supposed to be kind of red, and this doesn't even build. Default language. I can do that. So default code moves to 00, no 015, okay. Where is it? X goes right, Y goes down. Oh, coding game, won't you ever learn? Okay, and where's 015? It's probably where I am. No, three numbers, what are those? Mm -mm. -mm. Oh, which back, which is always 0 for now. Alright, still not building. Oh yeah, CG utils for some other project. Actually, we don't need this. We are not using a viewer this time, or this, yes, so this should be alright. Still wrong. Yeah, how did that happen? Sorry about that, that's just stupid early game, so I can run in local because the coding game editor was not that good for Haskell, and since they updated updated it a few weeks ago, it's completely impossible. So I really am gonna have to work offline for the code and use trusty old copy paste to get those in. What's wrong with this project? It should be completely good. There's no good reasons for it not to build. Project any, what is that? I don't need project. Yeah, let's call this pack. Either there's no library here. Here we go. So for something intelligent to do, I suppose a perfectly reasonable thing to do for now would be to aim for some place on the map near the middle where there's a pellet, like the one as far as away as possible. So we're gonna have to parse the map. Why is this not license? We don't need one. No module named main. That, no, that's not what I want. Okay, something that runs. That's all we need for now. Yeah, we do have a main here. It just doesn't know it yet. It's not really important. We're on a single file. It compiles. That's all we want. Okay, so width and height and the grid. That's not even bound to a variable. So let's do that. So grid is going to be equal to we got a grid. What do we do with the grid? That's not per game turn, and I suppose I'm gonna have to maintain the state of whether or not the pellets have been eaten for now. So, well, let's start simple and just aim for some place along the middle where I want to go. I'm completely not gonna read this input at all for now. For now, it's gonna be and when I say pellet, I actually mean non-wall. So we're looking for some place in the initial map that is not a wall. If I recall correctly, that's just a space. So I am looking that place is necessarily gonna be, is it 0 indexed? Yes, it's 0 indexed or so. So I'm looking for some place in the grid whose element number half width is a space. And I hope that's gonna give me a line. And if I've got one, we'll go there. So the action is gonna be move 0 for now. X and Y or Y and X. That's the input. Output is XY. So X is still half width and Y is the target we've just found. We're not needing this anymore. Does this compile? Of course not. I do not have the list utilities in. Now yes, that's my point freestyle going awry. There we go. So I hope I'm gonna have a pack moving towards the center, namely the highest point in the center. And that's as uninteresting as possible because it appears like that's where he started. Okay, I'll go with that. At least I don't crash, but the opponent is a bit better than that, so I'm gonna have to do something a bit better than that as well. Do I have visibility on what he's eaten? I'm not sure. I'm gonna have to look at the inputs for this. Oh, I get his score, yeah. Number of packs, and I can see him, I suppose. So I'll use this to remember where all of the pellets are. Unless I can actually see them. Well, let's not make things too complicated yet. So that grid for now is a list of lists. I'm gonna make that into an array. And so list array 0, 0 to height +1, not +1. No, not +1 because it's 0 indexed. Wait, is that? Yeah, -1, I'd say. What even is let's say -1. That's what makes the most sense. Something like that. Yup. Now that map we're gonna fill for now with the amount of visible pellets. Where are those? They're here. As far as I understood, we see all of them in this league. Pellets. Or maybe it's just... Well, doesn't matter much. We'll see how it goes. So we have the amount of visible pellets, so we'll just put those as dots on the map. That's most likely what they wanted us to do. Yeah, could you make this any more complicated? So pellets, amount of points it's worth. Yep. So, well, we don't really want a structure out of that. What we'll do is just return the position where y indexed, because that makes more sense. And we're gonna want to put a character inside. So I think the only two values possible are 1 and 10. So we'll call that value to character of value, and we're going to define this. So we have it defined for 1. We have it defined for 10. And now we've got that, we'll put it into the array. So what we're gonna do is call it pellet map or pellet grid. So accumulate with, we're gonna call that with const or not const. I'm gonna have to write it out. So position character, I can never remember, B2 C. So flip const. Yeah, flip const. Well, actually, it's gonna be an F map. There. How can that be? Expected of a list an IO array got oh yeah, I've got to have a starting array. That's the grid. And this is not going to be used anymore at all. There's this. Okay, we've got a grid. Now we're going to remove where the opponent has put pellets. Well, where the opponent has been. We're going to remove where I have been. So that's just, we're going to use the pack positions. Where is that? We've got that around here. The cooldown, yeah, that's going to be later on. All I'm going to be interested in is their positions. So that's going to be a list of y x's. What did I do? I dropped my visible pellet count. YX, yeah, I'm gonna be careful around those. This is the part where the type system is not gonna help us too much. Nothing looks more like an int than another int. So let's just call those packs for now. So I've got those packs. So my pellet grid is gonna be my pellet grid prime. So pellet grid to which I remove any place the packs are. And so that's gonna be position and back to a space for all packs. So I ought to have the actual up-to-date map as far as I could understand. As far as I could understand the problem statement. And now the lamest strategy of all, we are going to go for the closest pellet with the best value we can find. How's that for strategy? So that's going to be our target. And with the way the system works, I'm not even going to really have to write a BFS yet. All I'm going to have to do is locate it in the input and find its targets. So we're going to take all of the position. We're going to sort on, is this available? No, it's not available because we're playing with a 5-year-old Haskell. It's going to be sorted by comparing well, now it's character to value. So go for best pellet and then go for closest. So we're gonna have to comparing distance, like stupid distance, Manhattan distance. There's necessarily gonna be one since I think this is one of the end conditions, or maybe not actually. Well, we'll crash if there's no pellet yet, and for a wood league that's acceptable. I'm gonna need comparing and character to value and distance. So comparing comes in data order. Value to character, so dot's worth 1, O's worth 10, and anything else is worth 0. We said we needed, I forgot, syntax error. Yeah, that's a let binding as well, and we need distance. So distance from AB to CD is abs C minus A plus abs D minus B. Yeah, I'm gonna need to do something a bit verbose. I'm not sure I understand this one yet. I expect my pellet grid to be of type array int to character. So what's wrong with that? couldn't match car within. We'll see that later on. Oh yeah, card value. I'm supposed to be comparing those on the card to value is on the second element, the element. So card to value of the actual element, and the distance is on the position. So the first in the pair. And I've still got this weird error. So value the character is supposed to give. I defined it both, and one of them has the wrong. It's card to value. There. Now I'm comparing. Yeah, that's distance, not so distance to my pack. So that's going to be my pass, and I'm going to have to extract it from the list of packs here. So in addition to the YX list here, I'm going to have to remember if it's mine. So we already have mine. We're just going to make it a real type, Boolean. It's automatically inferred. So what I am going to have here, my pass. So my pass and whether or not it's mine, I'm just here, is gonna be Wallace and just extract mine from the list. This is gonna break the other part of my code here, so I'm just gonna match it a bit differently. There we go. This all compiles. I'm still missing a small part of infrastructure. I want to remember where the pellets are and which one have been eaten. So instead of a forever loop here, I'm gonna do something weird like flip, fix, grid, thing like that. Loop, we'll call it grid. This one's gonna be grid 0, it's the starting grid. Of course, we don't have fix, we add it. And that would work. Well, it compiles, but I'm still missing the interesting part. Well, where I loop with the new grid. This appears workable. Let's see what it does. Still losing. I crashed, didn't I? Of course I crashed. So what happened? Invalid, blah blah blah. Ooh, that one's interesting. Move 0, 17. What am I doing? Oh, I forgot to put anything interesting here. So I don't want to show the entire target. I only want to show, well, its coordinates. Where's that 17 coming from? This is not needed anymore. So let's call that a show pass. And target is not even a pass. It's a pair of a position, and I don't even remember what. That's indented a bit differently. So show pass target, we're gonna have to define show pass, and show pass of yx pair is show x space show y. There. How's that? Still losing, huh? Am I doing a full game at least? Is it playing? Move? Do something? Play? So I'm not moving. For some reason, I'm always moving to the exact same position. For some reason, well, that boss character is trying to move in me. For some reason, it decided the best target was here, which is weird to say the least, because I expected there not to be a pallet left, so I'm gonna need to debug a bit here. I would like to know what are the visible pellets we see. Pellets and values. So this thing here, I'm gonna want to, yeah, I read the whole of it, so I'm just gonna, please show me that. Or maybe grid, did I? Pellet grid, yeah, takes the one we had, yeah, should be just about what we expected, so let's run that again. An array? Why is that an array? Oh, yeah, that's not what I wanted to show. Well, I mean, I suppose I could. Yeah, that's enough. The first one's all I need for now. Let's copy paste it in another buffer. Whoa. Sorry, streaming's making the computer slow. So, blah blah blah. The interesting part here is I do have some pellets, mostly everywhere. That's fine, but my position is 9-1, and that place indeed has a space. Why on earth? Oh, but of course, that's because I'm sorting them in the wrong order. So I'm currently looking for the least scoring place. That is not very good. I like the most scoring. I've been doing way too much C++ lately. I'm getting rusty on the Haskell. Let's get back to it. Now we've got an actual high-level language. Well, this is much better. I'm winning. I'm winning means I submit. Yeah, well, this kind of seems like it's gonna pass. I don't think there's anything particularly interesting here. So let's not typo when we write a plan. Right, Wood-2 bot, and that Wood-2 bot, what does it do? It dashes to closest, well, most scoring closest position, and that's all it does. Let's be optimistic and say this gets us out of Wood-2. And how long? Well, as soon as it's finished with all of that. So I don't suppose I need the tracing anymore. Where would that be? Let's remove this. Put some types around so we do fewer stupid things. Yeah, value is going to be an int for now. What? I kind of swapped those. Still not there yet. Come on, you can do it. All of this, yeah, I needed to find boss. Just a bit of patience here. Take a deep breath. So I suppose next league has more packs, and maybe at some point we're gonna have some effects from the pellets. We'll see about that. There. Getting there, getting there, getting there. At some point. We can now control multiple packs. Well, I've got to give it to them. We were warned. See updated statement for details. I hope this is the only change or I'm gonna complain again. So, each player starts with the same number of packs, up to 5 each. Cancelling a movement itself engender another collision. It will be resolved in the same way until no new collisions occur. How so? Don't they move all at the same time? So now we're gonna need to remember which ones are mine. That's par for the course. This collision resolution is highly worrying. I hope it's not what I think, but I'm afraid it is. How am I not last? My code doesn't even... Oh, maybe... No, wait. Output. Ah, they're all in a single line. Okay, that's smart. This makes my former AI valid. I'm just not moving. So I suppose that's what happens. I'm only moving a single pack here. Yeah, and so is my opponent. Okay, That's tough. So, do we have a number of packs around? Yeah, here. And looks like it's gonna have some more information later on, so let's define a type right now. I'm just gonna make an entire, it's all from a line, so I'm gonna call this read pack applied to get line, and move all of that higher up. So how I'm not needing the line anymore. The line is here. I don't really need a do actually. It's gonna be a pack, so it's gonna have its position yx. I said y. And what other great information am I gonna want to have? So apparently I'm gonna have some kind of a type. So yeah, let's call it type ID, as they say. Speed turns left. Ability cooldown. And that's it. Oh, mine, of course. Okay. So pack and a pack ID, yes. ID, mine. So split this mess. So pack ID, mine, XY, type ID, speed turns left, and ability cooldown. And actually read them. So for now, X and Y, well, all of those I do not know. I'm not even gonna read yet. What I do want to read is X and Y. Oh, I'm gonna have to read the type ID anyway. I suppose it's an int. Let's check. Unused, yes, but what is its value? Well, you know what? Haskell's lazy, so it's not even gonna be an error if it's not the type I expect, as long as I don't read it, which I won't. So let's do it this way. So I need X, Y, pack ID, X and Y. Yeah, that's all I need for now, right? Oh yes, as I said, except I'm going to need to define the others anyway. So I'm going to assume integers for now. And cooldown. So map read, well, almost all of those. And I hope, so pack ID, yes, P, no, X, Y, type ID, speech, blah, 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 blah. Okay, and the one that's missing is the mine. That's to enum of mine, not P. Mine. I suppose this absolutely replaces. Of course, I still need a data structure for that. So pack ID is an integer. Strict. Mine is a strict boolean. type ID. This one I'm gonna be lax or lazy because I don't know if it's an int yet, and I don't want to crash. It's most likely an int, but pack mine, pack type ID, pack speed turns left, pack ability cooldown. Let's put that on a line of its own. How's this? Couldn't match. I'm missing an argument somewhere. So pack ID, it's mine. Oh, position here. I'm not sure I can make that straight. Who cares? Couldn't match. Mine is a boolean. Is it not used in the boolean position? Yes, it is. Now what? Oh, I've gotta read it first. So yeah, so let's make things simple. I'm gonna read here. They're all integers, and the only conversion I'm gonna be doing is the whether or not it's mine. There. So of course now it's gonna be the pack position. My position is going to be retrieved like this. And it's gonna be search as is it mine. I'm missing a type signature around here. Okay, so this compile and this doesn't change anything. This is just, as far as I know, this is just supposed to be whether or not I failed at converting. So I'm just gonna check I still kind of move around with one. Yeah, move around. He's going for the pellet here. Now go for the other ones. Got it. Now go for this one. Can I pass through myself? No, I can't. This is gonna be a problem. That's a good thing to discover. So, well, what we want to do for now is actually find the other packs and find a move for all of them. So, I'm not gonna retrieve the packs who are mined using this simple find here. I'm gonna retrieve all of them. And actually, no, I'm gonna retrieve all of them like this. What do they want? Do I still have a stream link here? Sorry, gotta do my own advertising around here. coming. So my packs, I'm gonna just take those who are mine. And for all of them, I'm gonna try and issue a move operation. So this type signature is getting quite a bit messy for now. What I want, so for now it's gonna be a map for each pack. So how's that gonna be? Like my packs. Well, find target. Find target. Yep, that's the one. Where am I? Find targets here, and so I'm gonna get rid of this. This is kind of gonna be how it's gonna work. So it takes the pack and gives a pass for now. How do I get this in? Yeah, sword, blah blah blah. So instead of my pass, well, my pass is fine. I'm just gonna have to define it. Well, I'm just gonna put back pass actually. I'm gonna need the pellet grid. And that's about all I want for now, right? Just rename this and answer the head of that, which is the next sort of bugs for me. And this partial function here. Let's put a marker so I remember in case of emergency. I have not defined the grid yet, and for now it's not going to be anything too complicated. 1 equals there. That compile. Yes, please. What am I saying now? Pass and pass character. That's because my list of Sanskrit baseball. No, yeah, that's still supposed to be it. No, because it's a position. I'm getting both. So take head and take the coordinates too. Ooh, I hate it when Emacs does that. There, better. Yeah, I'm supposed to give the grid as an argument. And now I'm supposed to compose an actual action out of it. So it's gonna be intercalate or something. Intercalate. Is that the one? It doesn't even know it. I never remember which is which. But actually in this case anyone would do. So yeah, this one does. So I'll use it. Intercalate a pipe character between zip with create move of my packs and the targets. That's gonna be the output. Whoa. Something like that. What am I missing? I'm missing the create move function and some kind of a type error. something like that better. Yeah, so I'm still missing create move. Let's write it right now. So create move, all I want from the pack is its ID and position, so it's Y and X. There, it compiles, so maybe it actually works. So, crash, well, that tends to happen with new code. No, not crash. What's wrong? Can I? What? Oh, bad comment. Pack 24 doesn't exist. Oh, yes, that's because I wrote my thing wrong, and the chat is as sleepy as I am. A move needs the pack ID first. That's more sensible. And this beats the boss. Yay. Well, let's watch a match before I submit. Why is it waiting to start? I don't know. Some bug again. What if I pause and play? Oh, so those two are gonna be stuck forever, and even with that, I'm gonna win? That's nice. Ah, shit, he got all the super pellets. Okay, well, that's probably enough. Let's submit, and let's commit as well. So, oh no, well, let's update the plan before, just so I remember where I'm coming from. There, that was quick. Well, yeah, adjust to Wood-1. Yeah, well, it's not a total landslide, but it's gonna be just as well. Oh, and now someone with the same strategy as I, and everybody's stuck. This is completely ridiculous. Give me another match. Or just skip to the end of this one. Yeah. Where is that window coming from? I don't have it. Is that an OBS thing? OBS, what are you doing? I have no idea what it's doing. What if I move out of this? Huh. My OBS is drunk. Yeah. It's like frozen. The crazy thing is I get the normal view, but On the stream manager and on OBS, I see well, that's what I had at the very beginning of the stream. But the Emacs part is okay. You know what? I'm just gonna close, or let me try and put a terminal in and then come back. Except I don't have a terminal. How about my contact list? That is so fascinating. And let's get back to coding game. Ah, that's better. Weird. Sorry about that. I hope it's better for you now. And I'm gonna have a word with coding game with OBS when I'm done with that. So, where were we? Above the boss and by a big margin. So I suppose that's gonna be fine for now. I'm not sure I want to implement anything smarter for now, because I'd rather know what's in the next league. Yeah, blah blah blah. So let's wait for promotion and well, you can always write ideas in the plan. What could we do? So one target per pack. It does appear as though there's some way to turn this into a zone defense. I suppose that's what's going to be happening in the higher levels. Yay, bronze. Till then, I suppose I could get my code warnings free, because that's always a good thing. Let's just add it to the options. So, we've made it to bronze. We can now give a speed boost to our packs and switch their type to attack my opponent's packs. You can see packs in line of sight. The line of sight thing is probably the most interesting. Switch their type. What does that mean? So, speed boost, okay. Type, then we only see line of sight. But that's not, well, probably not too interesting. The types here are kind of weird. So there's kind of scissor pack and eraser pack. And blah blah blah. So cannot see through walls. We only see pellets and enemies. Oh, we do not see the enemies anymore. Except for super pellets. Oh my god, rock, paper, scissors. Two abilities, switch and speed, that share the same cooldown of 10 turns. The abilities of a pack are already available in the start of the game. I suppose that means there's no initial cooldown. Blah blah blah. This hasn't changed. Switch. What? That's not Pac-Man. Rock, paper, scissors. Sure. First two steps along its path when moving. Okay. Game protocol. Collisions. Ooh, this is getting even more complicated than it already was. So, all moving packs move one step. And if the packs are of the same type or belong to the same player, they go back to where they moved from. If they're of different types, they can land on the same cell, but a pack can't cross the path of a stronger pack. It will be blocked. Canceling the move may create new collisions. For this reason, the previous step. I hate this kind of statement. All packs that share the same cell as a pack that can beat them are killed. Okay, so I suppose this is why they do not let the same player have two packs in the same place, or then there would not be a clear winner anyway. And if there's speed, okay, so speed is kind of move a second time more than move twice as fast. Action order, cooldowns, speeds, abilities, moves, kills, eats. Okay, so now the interesting part kind of becomes survival. Source code. Yeah, well, maybe later. Mm, well, so we're gonna need. So right now, indeed, my code kind of works by luck, but the type is gonna be a pack type, a special type I'm gonna define. So type can be rock, paper, or scissors. So pack type is not heterogeneous inputs. This sucks. I hate you, statement writer. So I'm gonna have to get back to where separate the reading from there. So just split the words now. Pack ID, mine, X, Y, type ID, speed turns left, and ability cooldown. I'm gonna write them separately this time. So pack ID is read. Pack ID, this one's an int. Mine is to enum read underscore mine. X and Y are ints. Type ID is this specific type, and I'm left with this. The reason why I now have to separate them all is that they're not yielding the same type anymore. They used to be all int, so I could map read. And now, because of this one in the middle that cannot be parsed as an int, I've got to read them out. If I had to moderate this one, it would get bad points for giving different types of inputs on the same line. Anyway, what's wrong? Pack ID, yeah, it's like that. That's not used. This is not exhaustive, and that's a feature for now. Anyway, I'm gonna change the representation anytime, and this gets warning because it's coding game input with redundant variables. We'll get rid of it eventually. And why not now? Not as any worse as any other time. So my score and opponent score. Those are integers, except I'm not using them and probably won't be, so I'm gonna have to type them. Visible back count can do with a simple read line. And this part is still not too good. So in order of reading, it's a list x, y value. As far as I understood, value is still only 1 in 10. It's not an int anymore, it's an IO int. Defined but not used, yes indeed. Actually, I'm gonna prefix them with an underscore. Not using them is expected. Not exhaustive, actually. There's no reason why it shouldn't be. I can just define everything else to be 0 with a warning. So let's make that a unknown value pellet. And make that a space. I don't recall I changed anything here, so this should be really the same. And I rank about halfway, which is kind of weird, but okay. I still don't have anything resembling a search. I still do not even acknowledge the fact that that I can move from the left to the right. And I'm not using the morphing abilities at all. I've got an unanswered question here. That's which type do my packs start with? probably that's a given. The good news is my code doesn't crash, so it's reading the type IDs properly, which is good. This is messy too. Too much space, partial. Well, let's use abilities, and I suppose that's gonna be it. So what are, yeah, there's one thing. I now only have visibility over the pellets that are in line of sight, but moving to intersections should take care of part of that. So right now, what do I want to do? I suppose I could speed all the time, and that would be good. I suppose abilities can be used at any time. So I'd like to know, they say cooldown, but they never say. Oh, I'm still using those bad input. Let's fix that right now with hide. There we go. Still compiles. This touches IO, so I'm always gonna check it still works. And I'm gonna commit it. I mean, there is nothing too fascinating here. The over the top. Graphics. Hmm. Because now, yeah, we still can kind of block, but we have to know the. Let's not get too distracted right now. Check the plan. Update for bronze, which meant parsing type. Anything else that changed? Parsing types. And that's about it, I suppose. We already were using multiple packs, so this doesn't really change. And let's commit that right now. And now do something. Well, we could start with, there are multiple quick wins here, not doing anything stupid, meaning not moving into a visible enemy of a type that beats us. We should probably avoid doing that. So that's something we should do right now. So this is going to be part of the, wait, they talk to me, what they say? Language discussions. Yeah, that one might be worth an explanation if that's of any interest to anyone. So first then head, do I still have it? Yeah, I do. This comes from this assoc function here. This assoc functions, well, let's ask the type here. Assoc is a function that takes an array and turns it into a list of pairs of the index and the element. Well, it's not really going to compile to that, but conceptually that just means we can now apply a list on operations on it. This sort by here is the more interesting part. So sort by is a function that takes two elements and returns an ordering. And ordering is greater, less, or whoa. Don't worry about the instances, but ordering is less, equal, or greater. So this gives us a bit more functionality than the C++ way, where you just give a strict less than operator. But using this, we sort the list, and where it's getting interesting is that we can give, well, normally and actually this function takes two arguments. It's going to be pairwise comparison. I don't know what's the sort behind it, most likely merge sort. And this comparing function is a helper that, if I type it properly, only gives you, how to say, this BB gives ordering is the type sort accepts. And to make it easier, we just say we're comparing some aspect, some property of the given elements. So in our case, we're comparing, so FST is the first element of the pair, that's the coordinates, and compose with distance to packPos. So this function here, if we give it an association, a position and an element, it takes the position, it discards the element. We don't care about this, about the element in this part. And we return the distance to the current pack. This is a function that takes, so let's write the type signature. It takes, well, let's just write a position and I don't remember. Oh, it's a character. We're in the list. So taking position and character, FST only takes the position here. Yeah, you can see my mouse. So it gives a position. Then we compose the function dist packPos. So this one's defined right a bit higher here. Dist takes two positions and yields an int. So let's write it. Position, and gives an integer. So if we apply it to a packPos, that's a position. So that consumes the first position here. So we have a function that takes a position and gives an int. It's a partially applied function. You can even do that in C++. That was the dirtiest part of C++ 98. So this here, when we compose this function to the FST we have here, that's what FST does. So if we have this and compose it with that, well, you can see poscar gives pos, and then pos gives int. So this makes a function that looks like this. So this composition gives us, given an array pair, association pair, gives us an integer. That's our evaluation value. And this comparing function here says, well, given this function b to a, so b is poscar and a is int, it gives us a function that takes two b's and yields an ordering. So comparing this, takes this function and in returns gives us a function that takes two pass cars and returns an ordering. I'm gonna space that a bit differently, which is the kind of function that sort accepts. So if we said sort by comparing this, what's the type of sort by? I think I asked for it just a bit higher. It takes one function of this kind, so that's lucky for us. That's exactly the kind of function we've got here, and returns a function that takes a list of this, so in our case car, and returns the same type with the change that now it's going to be sorted. So we're not totally there yet. We still have this lift A2 thing. This one's going to be a bit more complicated to explain. It's just shorthand for writing the fact that, well, in Haskell, when we've got ordering, they've got this great instance that's called a monoid that behaves, well, a monoid that's met. That just means we have an operation that's associative and admits a neutral element. And it so turns out that in Haskell it's defined in such a way that appending two orderings gives you a lexicographical compare. So if this ordering is less, then it wins. If this ordering is greater, then it wins. If this ordering is equal, then we look the next one. And this tells us whether or not the, well, lexicographical, same as in the dictionary, except we always have the same width for words. And this lift A2 here means that I've got a function that takes two orderings and yields an ordering. But I don't have orderings. What I have now is a function that takes a bit of the array, like this one, and returns an ordering. Well, takes two position character pairs in the array and returns an ordering. And I'd like to be able to compare those orderings. So that's kind of in math when you say, I know how to do plus. Plus is an operation on two real numbers. And if you've got functions defined on all the real numbers, you can define another kind of plus, that's plus on functions. That's exactly what we're doing here. We've got an operation on orderings, and we lift this ordering operations to functions that yield orderings. So lift A2 is just because it happens to be provided by the applicative package, but it's no more complex than saying if you have fx equals like whatever twice x, you've got f. I'm even. This is legal Haskell as well. G of x equals x squared, for example. And in math, you're able to define the function f plus g of x that's equal to the usual meaning. And in Haskell, we can do this in a slightly oblique way by using this lift A2 construction. And yes, in the end, we've got this function. We take the head of it. So head of that, if we compose head of that takes the result and only takes the first element, so it's not a list anymore. And FST of that takes the first element, so position. And there we have it. That's how it works. So yeah, that's higher level stuff, but it's got the great advantage that we describe exactly what we want and not how we want it done. So this is what enables us to have higher level reasoning. That was a good question. I welcome good questions. Am I gonna do the whole contest with Haskell? I don't even think I'm gonna do the whole contest because I'm not gonna have time. But I do not intend of switching. I'm never gonna have the time to switch. So it's gonna be Haskell, and it's probably not even gonna reach gold. Unless I get super motivation. We'll see. So, where were we? Black magic. No, it's not black magic. And you can do almost the same in C++, you just don't know how to do it. That'll be another stream. Yeah, it's a good thing I have a plan. What was I doing? One target per pack. Let's do that. No, we had more better ideas than that. In the not being stupid category, one target per pack. Yes, this means at least no collisions among my own packs. We have this one's a bit tougher to get done, but we'd like to not have. Well, don't go for a losing match. So we're gonna have to put more details on this a bit later on. Not being stupid would also be to see through the well, actually stop using Manhattan distance. Move to well, we're going to do BFS for now, which is not something you'd want for the end of the contest. You'd want to have all the shortest path already computed, but for now that's going to be enough. Since they never change, the map is static. So that's the real stupid parts, and then attempts at being smart. We ought speed. That's gonna be enough for now. Yep, Floyd Warshall with a D is what you want, and I'm not gonna do it because I'm not gonna reach that stage in the contest. Unless I do, who knows? It's been what, an hour and a half? Yeah, let's start doing well, the easy ones. Well, BFS is actually the easy one, so let's do that. And maybe we'll do Floyd Warshall later on. So this is part of my find target. That's the one we're going to change. So right now our distance is a Manhattan distance, taking 2 positions. I'm going to make it a walking distance. In the end, that's a walking distance. I'm probably going to want to ponderate with whether or not there are known pellets on it, but that's for just a bit later on. So instead of using that simple distance, I'm gonna call it BFS dist. BFS dist. It's gonna need the grid as an argument, and the rest doesn't change. And now the partial part is not the lift A2, it's the head. And now I've got a line that's too long, and I hate this. So let's fix indentation a bit. And that better, so it's going to complain about the missing function. So BFS dist for now is taking a grid, a position. Oh wait, no, that's completely stupid. This one is quadratic with the. I'm gonna have to do this completely differently. Find target is exactly going to do a BFS. That's all it's gonna do. It's not gonna be partial anymore. It's gonna be a BFS. I'm gonna declare it right inside here. A BFS that gives me well, closest stuff. And I'm actually gonna do the BFS and not Floyd Warshall this time because wait, no, am I? Because I'd like to add a bit of weight for the paths. Nah, not yet. Never do too many things at a time. That's a sure recipe for disaster. So BFS, and my BFS is gonna have to return, well, we'll see. BFS, I'm gonna have a closed set like empty. I'm gonna have a starting place, so that's gonna be my back pass. And that's all I need to start, right? So BFS closed queue, and yeah, well, is it ever gonna be empty? That wasn't a problem yet. So it's gonna be partial, which is bad for production code, but this one is only a game. So let's assume we're at a position and the queues later on. If that position is closed, then move on. If it's not closed, then find out what's there. So this would be some kind of what's its name? Oh, and we're gonna want the path as well because that's gonna be the way to go. So it's worse than back pass. It's back pass as a singleton list. So this is gonna be a path, and the first element of that path is the starting position. Let's save some space. So if it's closed, no matter. If how are we gonna go? If we're a goal, well, it's kind of always a goal. So let's have, well, just otherwise actually. We're gonna store what we have here. So that's P and grid at P. And recursion, so closed prime and Q plus plus, what we're gonna call, well, Q prime for now, this can be the neighbors. So closed prime's easy, it's insert P in the closed set. The more interesting part is Q prime. So we've got our positions, we're gonna take its neighbors. We're gonna take its neighbors. The filtering is gonna be done here, and that's where we're gonna wrap around the map edges. What next? We want to take those neighbors and make those the new path. So how are we gonna do this? Add the path to the end of those neighbors. So neighbors of yx is going to be, so filter in bounds of well, bounds in range of bounds plus the area library grid. Once they're in range, we're also going to want to filter that it's walkable. So is not a wall. of so y minus 1x what am I missing? The wraparound. This one's gonna be ugly, so I'm gonna define the wrap here. So what's wrap? Wrap means that if any one of those goes out of range, well, out of range on the left or on the right, we get it back. So wrap of y and minus 1 yields y, so that's width minus 1, and wrap y width, which cannot be pattern matched on, so I'm doing it this way. Gets us to 0. I do not have width and scope here, so let's get it. So height width is not even the bounds. Ha 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 ha. It's the bounds plus 1. So for those who like functions composition, you're gonna love this. So SND of bound grids and plus 1. We have a width. This is not done yet. We need the set. Let's add the set. We have a type error. What's this one? Let's start in the middle. Neighbors P, I expect to take a position and yield multiple position. Is that assumption correct? Who knows? A wrap is just a way of changing positions, and width is supposed to be a plain old integer. Yep, SND, much better. Pause, and. Yeah, that's because I'm not done yet. So I got my BFS. My BFS is yielding a set of positions. What is it returning? It's returning a list of position and character, or how was it? Where's my return? It's here. A list of position and what's there. So pause and character. That's not very interesting. What we'd want is the value of what's there. Hey, DBR's in the place. What could we do more smartly than this? We definitely do not. I don't even have a termination on its BFS, and do I want to? Well, at the beginning, no. I'm always going to aim for a super pellet. In the end, maybe. So yeah, I'm going to have to put it. That one's not too hard. Termination is just if the queue's empty, there's nothing left to see. This BFS gives a list of the entire map with a character. I'm gonna need some filtering of this. What I am only interested in is the places where I can see a pellet and the places where I can see a super pellet. And once this is done, I'm just gonna go in random exploration or something, so the zeros. But the thing is, if I see a 10, I can stop the search. That's what I want. If I see a 1, I'm gonna have to wait till the end. Yeah, so a full BFS is actually acceptable for now. I get a list of position and characters. What I want out of this, I'm gonna have a good, nice function there. I want the maximum, same as before. Max, I suppose. Whoa. Sorry, I'm switching keyboards all the time with the lockdown, and I'm confused with all of them now. I'm gonna have a maximum buy of blah 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 of that BFS. And I'm supposed to return a position. So that maximum buy is just gonna operate on this. I want a position, so it's gonna be the FST of that. So this part's okay. I just have to fill in a comparison. And that's where I'm gonna put mostly the same one as before, except this time I will not be doing the distance comparisons because that's exactly why I did a BFS in the first place. So the positions are handed to me by the BFS by order of distance, so I can just take the maximum by well, value of second. So comparing value with car2 value, if I recall correctly, of which is it? It's the character is the second one. So this returns the my target. And right now I'm still in the case where I don't actually care which way I go there. This is gonna be for later. I still have the feeling I'm doing something stupid. Yes, if I'm not interested in the path, there is no reason I should store the path. And that's not gonna change the results, but it is gonna have a slight impact on performance. So I do not need any of this. Where's the other part of the path here? It's just gonna be P, and path here is not needed. Okay, well, it's gonna come back most likely. Oh, of course, wrapping. Any other case, don't do anything. We're gonna have all sorts of debugging to do here. Oh, I'm losing to the boss AI now. What's this? Ah, what a pity. Yeah, okay, so this is stupid. This is stupid. I've only got one left and he's gonna die at some point. This is also very stupid. Why is he not going any further? This one's an actual bug. What can I do about it? I need to debug this. There's really no reason. Oh no, haha, that's the same as ever. I should be comparing those in the appropriate order. Or else I'm just seeking empty spaces, and those are quite easy to find. You're always sitting on an empty space. Oh, losing again. This does not appear to be a great difference. Oh no, wait, no, I'm not supposed to do the down because now I have maximum buy. I used to take head of swords, so head of swords the smallest element. So no, this should be actually good. So why was there a bug? Hmm. Somehow the enemy managed to die on his own, and I'm chasing empty spaces. This really is completely ridiculous. This was supposed to be the not being stupid part of the plan. This is not on a good path. Well, let's trace some of it at least. That's gonna go overboard pretty fast. Let's do this. Yeah, it's also. Let's trace this part here. Wait, is this part of my, no, yeah, that should be correct. Let's do it again. Ooh, more highlights. Can't follow. Well, anyone, I don't know, why am I only getting 2? That's not good. I'm supposed to. I've got some ultra weird stuff here. I expected there to be 1 BFS per pack. Somehow I've got 2. Oh, I suppose it's because the length overflows on the second one. Yeah, this is gonna be a long string here. So that BFS gives 724. Where's that? 724. Yeah, that's this one with a space, then the 2 around, etc. And in the end, we've got a 1 here, and if we push even further, we get the O here. So from here, it looks kind of what we expected. Now we're gonna want to see what's the maximum. Where was that? Maximum here. Ah, okay. Well, that's still a bug, but at least it's interesting. We get an alternation of aiming for the O and 3-0, which is what? Zeros here. He sees an O there. I have no idea why. And the next step, or the previous, he wants to go instead in 119. That's probably this one. So 2 problems here, the oscillation and the fact he sees an O where there's nothing. That's really weird. There was one. Yeah, I think I get it. So he's aiming for 119. One collision. He's aiming for there. What happened here? The other one got it. So my problem is that since I do not see him, I do not see he ate the pellet. So I need to take into account the fact that if I do not have a big pellet in the list anymore, I'm gonna have to remove it from the map. Am I sure I understood this? Let's walk through it again. In my code, at some point, I am going to put inside my grid the pellets value. The super pellets are visible from the start, so I see all of them. So it's in my map. At some point, some bad guy is gonna eat the pellet. So it's not gonna be available anymore. It's not gonna be here, but since I passed my map from the last time, it's gonna be there. Why does that explain the oscillation? He was going for 119. The only reasonable way is left. And then 30 is the closest. From here, 30 is the closest. That whether or not there actually is a super pellet there does not change the fact he should not make a U-turn. So no, that's kind of not enough. I'm not convinced and I still have a bug. Let's compare two of them. So this one has the first O in 334, which is not even... let's erase this one and start here. So this one yields 30. Does this match? He's taking the last one. Why is he taking the last one? I want a maximum buy that does not take the last one. That's unexpected. I thought maximum buy took the first one. Because indeed the last one's not stable. That's normal and expected. Let's try that. Maximum by largest element using the comparison. Yeah. Ah, he does it the other way. Yeah. Well, he's entitled to. I'm gonna have to do it differently. How am I gonna do it differently? I could add the distance. That's always possible without taking the whole path. That's reasonable. Let's add the distance, compute it, and add it. So we invoke the BFS where here. So position's not enough. We start with a distance of 0. yeah, we'll see in which way we return it. So it doesn't change a thing here. Here it does. We get the character and we return the distance as well. That distance has to be matched with, and that distance has to be increased every time we move the neighbors. So this neighbor function is actually fine. We just need, when we create Q, yeah, uh, mark it with d+1. This is gonna need a language extension. We add it. So now, yeah, so this all works, but when we get to here, so here comes the lift again, and it's exactly the same as last time. So comparing this and comparing, this time we want the minimum distance. So down dot snd, except it's snd dot snd, and this one's fst, right? And I'm missing a parenthesis, and I, I should have left it. And this should not have worked, or maybe it should, yeah. Okay, I expected to have one more fix. I'm gonna remove the trace because I'm really logging a lot here. Oh, this wins. Well, that's better. I kind of luckily okay, well, I suppose I could submit. This is definitely better than the earlier one. And let's check the plan. So right now, that's all I did. I'm gonna have to do something about this as well. And if it works, oh, I submitted with the trace. Oh well, that's life. I'm not going to interrupt it, but I'm going to remove them. This is unneeded, this is unneeded, and this whole thing could be formatted better. No, wait, it's actually good. Yeah, it's good as is. Let's add a bit of indentation here. How do you even... I hope you can, yeah, see this bad notification. More indent here and more indent here as well. Well, this appears to be ranking worse than the... Maybe it's lagging. Oh, that's not fair. Oh, it had barely started. I had a much better ranking before this change. Let's give it a chance. Ah, that's more like it. Keep going. What else can I do as well? Maybe I should commit now. Hmm. Okay. What else is an easy stuff? Losing match or one target per. I suppose losing match is more important because if I die, it won't even matter if I This one's gonna be quite a bit more involved. Losing match, I want to be able to detect that I'm near an opponent of the bad category, in which case I just want to go away. That's doable. Where's the pack stuff? So how would I do this? Let's call this danger. Danger. Some kind of a detection. So this can afford to be quadratic. Ooh, that's quite a bit better as far as the ranking goes. Yay. Let's, what do we want to do? We want to, well, if we're next to one, let's say we can accept to lose to a speeding one for now. We'll do this later. So, detect danger. What do I want this function to return? Just a tolerable position. Only if there's danger. Which means my create move function is going to be a bit more involved. It's going to have this. And I'm going to put the dangers here. So I don't have a detect danger function yet. Let's at least put its signature around. And the second error is couldn't match. That's because create move needs to take an additional argument now. Which way was it? Pack danger target. So danger is gonna have a type of maybe pause, and it's gonna be where to go. So if we're in danger, danger and normal target, it's still gonna be this, but now XY is gonna depend on the what I've got here. So if there's a danger, then that's what we take. If there's no danger, we take the target. This is actually literally from maybe target danger. And I think from maybe is not defined yet. So how do we detect danger? This danger needs to have another type. It needs to return a maybe position. So we have a pack. All that's interesting for now is its position and its type. Type ID. We're just gonna scan the neighbors for danger. So what's a proper way to do this? Just a case. I could reuse a neighbor function, but then I'm gonna have to extract the vector and take the opposite and whatever. So really, oh, but I do want those because they're running away from the opponent doesn't necessarily mean running straight away. Running sideways away is actually better. Because it could break his speed, if I understood. I'm not sure. Does anyone know? Can a speeding pack make an angle in a single move? I think the statement wasn't really clear about this. Where's the speed thing? Doesn't say. As far as I can remember, in Wood-2, thanks, Mander. In Wood-2, the statement kind of implied. Oh, sorry, I'm gonna cough. Protect your ears. I'm sorry about that. The statement kind of implied in Wood-2, in Wood-1 that it was the same direction, but now all it says it moves twice. So yeah, turns now makes sense. And I forgot what I was doing. Yeah, isolating neighbors. So I'm gonna take the neighbors from the position. And what am I gonna do about it? I'm gonna check. I'm gonna partition it for those who can beat me. So from those neighbors, I'm gonna want to know if there's well, let's just write this for now because it's gonna be some kind of a big function. So neighbors, I'm gonna want to reuse the older one actually. So I'm gonna have to extract it from here. It does need a bit of context, so I'm gonna have to go and define it in the main program. So let's just copy it for now. Copy. All I need is the grid. For neighbor detection, I do not need to know whether there's a pellet there or not. So this is good as is here, and the closure is fine. It binds to, well, grid 0 now. And yeah, this is good. Oh, I need to bring wrap in scope as well. Wrap is going to be even better and width. I'm So wrap is going to be better because now, well, I can scope it here anyway. That's the first argument. And the other reason why it's going to be better is because here I've got width and scope, so I do not need to do convoluted shit to get the wraparound. So I've got a neighbors function here, and I'm going to pass it to my danger function. Yeah, this is a let. And this is supposed to have more indentation. So now I need to have my neighbors function. So neighbors is post list of pos. And still a mistake. What's wrong? Oh, that's because I need to do more stuff with it. So do more stuff with the result of this partition. Yes, I'm going to need to define this. I'm going to want to define has enemy. And I'm going to want to do worse than that. I'm going to need both. I'm not really going to partition for now. I'm going to map. Well, keep the location and return what kind of an enemy is there. This is starting to get hard to read. Let's at least have a line. Yeah, so this is not implemented. This is from control arrow. I'm not even using arrows, it's just a useful combinator. Define, so has enemy. Has enemy is another of those functions I'm gonna ask the caller to give me. So has enemy is gonna take a position and return maybe a pack. Has enemy is gonna, yeah, if there's an enemy in this position, is gonna return that enemy. So this is not defined, we'll get to it later on. Yes, this is supposed to be indented as well. And I need my has enemy function. I already forgot where it was. First argument or second argument? It is the second argument. And has enemy is going to be defined around here. So has enemy, I want it to take a position and return a maybe back. How would I express this? It's just literally a find on the packs with the following predicate is not mine. That's easy enough. It's defined here because of the binding. So I've got a list, and now I've got this. I'm gonna partition. So partition is just .snd. This is just gonna tell apart the places that have enemies and the places that are neighbors. Those are useful because that's where I'm gonna flee. So partition, that's enemies, comma, comma, blah blah blah, flee, free, get away. There. Getaway route, that's not specific enough. Because I actually am only afraid of enemies who have a type that beats me, so I'm gonna have to define those. That's not gonna be too hard, but I need a function for this. Rock beats scissors. Paper, no, scissors beat paper. And paper beats rock. And do I have everything? I need the opposite case, which is always false. So actually that's the only, all other cases are false. I kind of forgot this. There. Ironically, that's actually a partial order. I could have defined it as an order. Yeah, maybe some other time. This was supposed to be a short stream. So maybe pause. Yeah, has enemy is not enough. It's gonna be has enemy and bind. Well, this is gonna get scary for the C++ folks here. Bind to beats, not a filter. I do not want filter. I want. Well, it is kind of a filter actually. I forgot the type of this. Yeah, M filter. I forgot if it. Yeah. So M filter if it beats me. So it's beats me. I'm gonna write this part first. So beats my pack type ID. I'm gonna remove those ID. That's not an ID. That's an actual type. Oh, and I'm gonna need both. So let's not do it like this. This is self. There. And this is way too long a line. We're missing. Yeah, that's not needed. Okay. And what are we going to do with that? We are going to we're going to be introducing a bug. We'll have to remember it later on. But it's going to be the same. We're going to flee to any place where the enemy that beats me is not. This means I can possibly try and flee to a place where there's another enemy that's of the same type as I. And obviously that's an escape route that won't work, but I mean that's a good start already. How am I gonna do this whole stuff? Well, let's start and write it longhand. So I only care if I actually have an escape route. So when I have an escape, so let's just take the first one. It's as good as anything. When I have an escape route and there's a bad guy around, so that's just not null enemies, well, go there. That's the gist of the algorithm. Otherwise, which means there's an enemy but no escape route, well, that's bad luck. You're gonna die, possibly. Or there's no enemy, don't do anything. And what's wrong with that? That's because all I want, yeah, let's write some more scary operators. What's that one? Back. Oh, I want the first. I want the position. Has enemy, returns a maybe back, yeah. Oh, I need to compose. That's better. Yeah, that's bad. Why do I do this? Well, let's make it a prime here just to be sure we don't mess those up. Oh, I don't want the arrow loop. That's define and not used. Yeah. What? No, that's not. That's not it at all. I'm only finding. Haha. Here you go again. This is very useful. So if there's a pack that's not mine and that happens to be in P. There we go. So I don't know if this is going to change a lot of whether or not this works. It does not beat the default ID. That's rather bad news. Oh, it crashes. That's better news. So what happened here? Could you tell me what happened? Tried to go out of grid. Well, that's interesting. And kind of bad. Peg 0 cannot reach 1127. Peg 0 cannot reach 1127 because it's out of grid. Are you out of your mind? Did I mess up an X and Y somewhere? Normally, no. I do not think I did. What did it write? Peg 0, 1127. Yes, that is backward. That is very backward. How did this one happen? That's reading the pellets. Reading the pellets. Where do I do that? XY to YX. Yeah. And where do I compare those? They just get on the grid. So this isn't supposed to have changed. He's trying to move to a non-existent place. It's not because of danger, or at least I don't think so. I could actually draw those out. So, no danger. This is not the problem. This is the normal target detection that I actually haven't changed as far as I can remember. Well, that is very, very weird. Let's write the other one too. So, same error, and they all want to go to the same place. Well, why not? Which is 1127. That's correct. So it's my move generation that's wrong with those. Oh yes, of course. This is the one. Okay. This is the kind of thing I went to protect against in the longer stream I did for Ocean of Code. Still losing? Oh. But a better fight. Yeah, well, this is a very ridiculous start. That's not gonna get very far. Well, that's only the second not being stupid aspect. Try another map and it'll get better. Yeah, another map is better. So let's remove those traces and submit. And chalk this as done. with a note that one target per pack. Just a note to self if I ever get back to this. Ooh, that's not a very good start, is it? Oh, we'll see. I don't think it could be worse than what I used to have, so again, no need to notify me every time. Okay, well, I think that's gonna be it for now, because it's beer time and people are waiting for me. I hope you enjoyed it or at least learned something. Well, yeah, I don't think I'm gonna have much time to get back to this during the week, but who knows? Yeah, they're all together. Well, it could be worse. Oh, wait, in the plan I could also try and maintain a bit of knowledge of well, okay, that's gonna be for another time. Well, thanks for attending and see you next time.